Access Radio, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
Access Radio, WIAX, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
And hello, sugars, and how are you this wonderful Monday evening? I am Lola Shae, and you are tuned into the Lola Shae Show right here on iAccessRadio.com. I'm hoping everybody that's checking in right now, who will be checking in the future, I'm hoping everybody's having a wonderful day. And good evening to you too, Evie. How are you this week? It's always awesome to hear from you. I'm coming to see you guys in the next couple of days. So, because, we got to plug in every so often. Or I just feel lonely. I don't know. I love you guys. And I thank you and appreciate you every week for checking in, tuning in, commenting, liking, subscribing. It means a lot to me that, I have a very strong support system of people who are enthusiastically in my corner. I appreciate you guys. It's good to know you're good. Hope them kids is not getting on your nerves too much on that bus. Yep. So, just getting started. I have a lot of stuff for you guys today. Once again, if you'd like to submit any music or any kind of content that you'd like to see on the show, you can send it to the Lola Shae Show at gmail.com. Once again, there is a call-in number, 347-708-0216. And towards the end of the show, I'd love to hear from you guys. If you feel like calling in, we will at some point establish an official topic section where you guys can call in and answer questions or ask questions, whatever it is that you'd like to do. The show is adapting and changing and morphing. Every week I try out different formats and formulas till I find something that works. So I want to say thank you guys for being my guinea pigs and going through this process with me. I hope you guys are proud of the end results. I know I am looking forward to putting out good content for you guys. So anyway, right to the news. Let's get started with that. And for my Android peoples, because I'm Team Android, there is a malware out posing as a Google Chrome update. So be very, very careful with your updates. This application invasion has the ability to completely take over your phone remotely. They can see everything in your phone, access your contacts, access your apps, and actually remotely do stuff on your phone. So it's very, very dangerous, and I just want you guys to be aware and keep your eyes open. verify all apps, all links, and continue to be suspicious about some of these programs, videos, links to all sorts of sites that are suspicious. Just be careful, you guys. It's crazy out there. In a significant shift, the appellate court has decided that a blanket ban on convicted felons' ability to own firearms is unconstitutional. I think that's kind of cool, because especially for low-level, non-violent offenders, after you served your time, you should be able to re-enter society. You should not be consistently penalized for something you might have done 20 years ago, for example. In a lot of cases, that is actually a thing. And the idea behind prison is supposed to be rehabilitative, not punitive, even though it has become more punitive than rehabilitative. We know that. But the idea that they would be punished for their whole lives for mistakes that they make is very, very unfair. So I'm glad to see the courts, doing something right once. Let's see. MTA worker was tackled while cleaning the train out in Queens. I hope you guys know that it's a 7-year felony conviction, of which you're gonna have, you're not gonna be able to, well, at least you'll be able to carry arms, right? No, because that's a violent offense, assaulting any city workers, MTA workers, post office workers, HRA workers. It's finable and punishable up to 7 years in prison. So please. Shout out, hey, Wiz, how are you today? Always good to see you in the chat. Let's see. A former mail carrier, USPS, was sentenced to 2 months probation for theft. So yeah, I've been thinking they've been stealing our packages, and this pretty much just confirms it. So yeah, get you one of those boxes. I'm not sure if he was doing the old take the picture, saying that he posted it and I delivered it, and then just take it back to the truck and take it home with him at the end of the night. I don't know, because there's been a lot of people getting caught up in that kind of mess. A lot of videos, a lot of ring cams, a lot of exploding packages. It's too much sometimes, honestly. Let's see. Mortgage rates. Last week I was talking about mortgage rates when the word that should have been coming out of my mouth was interest rates. So interest rates went up, but mortgage rates have finally come down a little for the first time in a few weeks. That's awesome. Like I said, there's a lot of us out here wishing we can get ourselves a house. That would be great. And to all the boomers talking about how, we're not motivated and we're not this and we're not that. We're not this and we're not that. We're not paying $65,000 for our houses either. I'd like to make a good note of that, because when our parents were buying houses, they were paying $65,000, $70,000 for a house. These days, you can't get a foundation of a house for $65,000, $70,000. So the idea that it's a lot harder to purchase a house is not, we're not just complaining for no reason. It's a real thing, between the interest rates and the market values. Again, finding that house is so far away from where so many people are today that it's just unconceivable. It's like they feel like and believe that they'll be renting forever, which I don't recommend if that's not what you want to do. So something has to be done about that at some point. I love BMF. Been checking out BMF for the last couple of weeks. well, we're in our third season now, so. And I was thinking about something. It made me think about, I think my baby father would have really enjoyed that show. And people who know him know why. But I don't know. They have a slogan that I find to be very interesting, and it's see it, touch it, obtain it. And I think that is a very good slogan for teenagers, which they were at the time that they made this slogan. They were kids. But I think even they would agree that the name of the game ultimately is to see it, touch it, obtain it, and maintain it. So there's a lot of people who are able to touch and obtain a lot of materialistic things, houses, cars, money, but were they able to hold on to it? Not necessarily. So I think ultimately that should be the ultimate goal with anything that you seek to see, touch, and obtain. The idea would then be to maintain it. Just like, some people understand that the three rules of any hustle is quality, quantity, and consistency. And that's any hustle. That's if you're outside selling art on a block, you're street pharmaceuticals, grill pharmaceuticals, construction to nursing to babysitting, any hustle you can possibly think of. The name of the game is quality, quantity, and consistency. So yeah, shout out to 50 Cent putting out quality work, and third season means there's been some quantity behind the work, and he is very consistent. So I think he will be continuously doing well, and I wish him luck as well, my fellow Andrew Jacksonite. Shout out to 50 on that. Okay, so if you have ever had the unfortunate experience of dealing with manipulative or narcissistic people, I pray for you. Yeah, my blessings and prayers go out to you, because child, I myself have had, unfortunately, the experience of repeatedly, I seem to draw them to me like flies to lights, fireflies or something. Anyway, but something that I've noticed consistently over my dealing with these people is that they all, after a while, if you're paying attention, start to say the same things. And if you recognize the things that they say as manipulation, which is what it is, then it makes it easier to defend yourself against their shenanigans. So since my goal is to help anybody who will allow me to, I want to go over some phrases that manipulative bastards like to use. Yes, this is the week I've been having. So yeah, here we go. 12 phrases a master manipulator uses to make you feel special. They call it love bombing, they can call it whatever they like to call it, but yeah, it's manipulation. Plain and simple, manipulation. And then you find, now sometimes a person can be genuinely saying these things to you, they can honestly mean these things, but just beware that when people use some of these phrases, they are intentionally, emotionally manipulating you, okay? Just be aware, all right? So yeah. First up is, you're not like anyone I've ever met. Now, as a weird person, a self-proclaimed weird person, I've actually heard this a lot. And I'm pretty sure I'm not like anybody a lot of people have ever met. But who do you know exactly? Maybe you don't even know that many people. I mean, next. I've never felt like this about anyone. How old are you? Never? Ever? I mean, okay. When you're like young, well, when you're teens, it's puppy love. That real shit. I really believe that puppy love is real love. Like, realer than some of the love that we be experiencing. Because some of us are full of shit by the time we get to our age. But when you're young, you're more genuine, and you don't really have the ability to be, well, some, because, you know, there are some kids, I don't even know. Anyway, like I said, I've heard this one. But just like if somebody says, I love you 2 minutes after meeting you, I'm sure they met somebody that at least reminds them of you at some point in their life. So no, that's a no also. The other one. I've never felt like this about anyone. Again, it might be a true statement. It might be. But, it would lead me to want to question what feelings you're feeling exactly. Like, because I've never felt abject disgust before, immediately upon meeting somebody, but they can make that a thing if they really wanted to, depending on how obnoxious they decide to be. I'm just saying is, you are special. You are awesome. You are. But if people are saying these things to you for no reason, they don't have the history, they don't know you well enough, they haven't had any experiences with you to be able to say these things unequivocally, I think you should raise your eyebrow, because they may be full of shit. Just possible. And yeah, I know I said 12, but yeah. I don't know what I would do without you. Yeah, you do. Same shit you was doing before you got around me. That's what you would be doing. Like I said, I'm not saying that they don't be telling the truth. I'm not saying that they're not being genuine. I'm just saying, you know in your gut when, if you're paying attention, if you listen to your inner voices and stuff, it'll tell you that 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, they're not necessarily being genuine about it. Beware of emotional manipulation. Let's see. There's a couple more. Nobody understands me like you do. You're perfect just the way you are. That's usually when you're trying to better yourself, actually. That is, they don't tend to say that when you actually need to better yourself. It's when they want you to stay broken so they can continue benefiting from your brokenness. That is when you hear that. And I can't imagine my life without you. Now, there are a few people I, honest to God, cannot imagine my life without. So I might have to remove that from the list. There are people in this world that have impacted my life so greatly that I just, honest to God, could not imagine what my life would have been like had they not been around. And there's that. But again, the point was to make you aware first of emotional manipulation, emotional blackmail, emotional roller coasters that people want to put you on intentionally, keep you off-centered so that they can benefit from you not being as sharp as you usually are. So please, please, please beware, be careful. And you know, next time that the feeling of it not necessarily, something is not quite right when the words just sound too sweet, they just sound like they're talking just because they have a pair of lips. Yeah. We're having technical fun behind the scenes. I wish y'all could see this. Anyway. Let's see. right, without any graphics, there's no graphics necessary. I like them, but they're not necessary. So I'm gonna move on to my Up in Smoke segment. So this week's brought to you by Crooklyn Cannabis Company. Shout out to my peoples over there at Crooklyn Cannabis Company. They've been very, very busy. Has been Cotton Candy Kush, and it is a cross between lavender and power plant. Comes in at about 19% THC, which is a little low for today's versions and today's strains. For me, it's fine because I can't really deal with the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. So teens and 20s is right around where I like to hover on, and everybody talks shit about it. Oh, that's not that za. Well, that za be having me stuck. So I don't like that. I don't want to be stuck. I got shit to do. I keep telling y'all that. So yeah, it's got a big bold cherry flavor, which I don't really like cherries. So it didn't really give me the joy that I like as much. But it is good for chronic pain, according to patients we interviewed. Finally, you guys, marijuana has been reclassified from a Class A Schedule 1 drug on par with heroin and fentanyl and cocaine. And now they've brought it down to a Schedule 3 around steroids, low, you can still have trouble with it if you abuse it, but it's not, gonna ruin your life, basically. So they finally figured that out, which is awesome. It's been former DEA and current DEA all agree that it's a good idea. Said that it's in line with the going consensus of the people, what the people want. Finally, they start listening to what the people want, but only after they figured out how to tax it and so yeah. But okay, Minnesota is on board because Drunk was on last week. I don't know if he's checked in this week, but shout out to him. And been looking into Minnesota and Missouri and other places that I've never been before. I'd like to go and check out. But Minnesota is on board to complete the expungement of nearly 58,000 misdemeanor marijuana convictions. So shout out to them. Finally getting around to getting rid of some of these convictions for a drug that has ultimately been deemed not a problem. So why are we still penalizing people? I need for the federal government to get on board and reduce I guess with the rescheduling, we should get a reduction in the amount of times that they're charging for marijuana infractions in the places that do have, for example, South Carolina is still illegal. So for them, hopefully they'll have to redo their marijuana laws and their how they choose to penalize you for breaking said laws. So hopefully that that works. Maine, on the other hand, has adapted their means of seeking out illegal growers, and they've been identifying spikes in the power usage. So, as we might not know, when you grow indoors, it requires, since you're not using sunshine, it requires a whole lot of power. Those lights and the fans to cool down from the heat that the lights produce, and the ventilation and the watering systems. It's a lot of extra power going through the Con Ed or whatever the local power company is out there. And so they're using those rates to determine who's growing stuff illegally in their house. Because why are you using all this power for absolutely? They can pretty much tell how much power a regular family uses versus the thousands of watts of power that these grow houses are pulling in. So that is one of the ways that they've been determining and locating some of these illegal grow houses. So just note to any illegal grow houses. Meanwhile, Indianapolis has opened its first church of cannabis, even though the Coptic Church, which is one of the oldest churches in existence, has been using marijuana as a part of its services and actual just how like it's incorporated into their religious service and religious practices for the longest. So I'm not surprised by that. So I don't know. I'm happy that to see the changes, even though they're steady locking up illegal retail sellers out here in New York, because New Yorkers still haven't gotten it through their skulls that marijuana retail is not legal in New York. Consumption of recreational marijuana is legal. Consumption of CBD products are legal. But the sale of marijuana flower is not legal on a statewide level. They have a few dispensaries who got in at the ground floor, and they're able to sell to other people who then can sell to you or deliver, or there's like a bunch of stuff, but as of yet it's not legal. So they're closing down shops left, right, and center. They closed 2 of my PUs down. They're closing, but as soon as they're closing them down, they seem to be popping back up anyway. So it's gonna be a battle. But know that they're still convicting illegal marijuana sales. So if you get caught selling marijuana illegally, they confiscate your product, they confiscate your method of sales, like your store. They can seize it and shut it down. They can padlock it. They can take your van. They can scoop up all your stuff on your table. They can do what they want to do. So do not let them fool you into believing that marijuana is free and clear in that way, because it is not. Nope. It is not. Okay, so next up in the 8 o'clock hour is my girls like sports, because we do. And there's been a lot of sports going on. Let's see, the Knicks have been having a wonderful / depending on who you ask, not wonderful time. I mean, they won the first 2 of the second round. They won the first round of the semifinals. Okay. And now they're playing against the Pacers, so second round. And so last week they were up, and now they're not. It's just the nature of sports. Now they're not up now. Now they are tied 2-2 with the Pacers, and we're going into Game 5. So we shall see. There's a lot of enthusiastic people hoping to see the Knicks make it to the championship, and then there's a lot of people who don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm just reporting the news. I don't have a opinion one way or another at this point. I'm over here on the WNBA. So as the NBA is winding down, the WNBA is cranking up. So they're just still in the preseason, having their first few expedition games. Shout out to Caitlin Clark again. Shout out to Angel Reese, having a phenomenal beginning to her season. She slayed at the Met Gala. Loved her little outfit. She looked very nice. I like to see the ladies looking ladylike and purdy. I love that. So yeah, shout out to her. I don't know. Let's see. Before I get into my sports too good, I do want to go through this topic that keeps popping up on my feed. The argument is whether or not you would rather be, females, I'm talking to the ladies, of course, whether you would rather be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear. And the men are very upset to find that the women are picking the bear. I don't know. I think men are having a whole lot of bad PR. They need some help with their public relations, because anytime somebody wants to be around a bear rather than you know that there's a problem. Oh, devil's advocate, of course. Well, it's kind of hard with this particular argument because I too would rather the bear. I mean, the bear's not gonna bother me. He's not. He might try to get in my cooler, but he's not gonna bother me. Otherwise, I don't have to worry about. Like I'm pretty comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable around bears. Guys, not necessarily. Sometimes there are some situations that I myself have been made to feel very uncomfortable in the presence of men. So I can definitely understand the argument. I don't know if I would say, well, I did just say bears, right? But I don't know if I would really pick the bear. But I mean, if I got a gun, of course, I would not pick the bear. Because what? Yeah, that's exactly. I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me. But then everybody was just so excited and emotional about it. The men was like, "How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?" And I'm like, obviously they have not. I don't know, because men act different around men. If that makes any sense, they don't do the things that they know that they shouldn't do when there are other men around. Only when they know that men are gonna tolerate the fuckery, then that's when they do stupid shit around those men. But if they're not sure how the man is going to respond to the fuckery, they usually don't do it. Interestingly enough. So sometimes men don't get to see the version of men that we women get to see. Like, just true statements. So they don't seem to understand how that could be a thing. But I don't know. I do, unfortunately. So let's see. Angel Reese's WNBA debut sparked warnings from retired NBA Dwayne Wade, who's definitely been a supporter, a big supporter of the WNBA. So shout out to him for that. He said that she is going to be a problem, and I agree. I definitely agree. His 3-word warning for the WNBA regarding her was that it's only the beginning. And like I said, I definitely agree. Angel Reese shined to the Chicago sky this year. She didn't get the hoopla that Caitlyn got, but I'm sure she's going to make up for it because she genuinely has the skill set to dominate and do the damn thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to be doing. Big shout out to Candace Parker, named Adidas President of Women's Basketballs. And as sports fans may know, Parker already made history being a member of the first high school team to get sponsored by Adidas back in 2018. Child, former NBA player Glenn Davis was sentenced to 40 months in prison for his involvement in a healthcare scam. So I don't understand how you got this bread. You got this bread, and yet it's not the first, the second, or the third. You had Breeze and who's the other one? Football player caught up in the welfare scandal. There's no accounting for greed, first of all. And I don't know. I don't know what. There's not much that would make me. I don't know. There's not a lot of stuff that would make me jeopardize the little bit of stuff I worked for. And they don't seem to think things all the way through, how this might not work out. I think they just see the free, what they think of as free, quick money, and that's all. But I mean, you gotta know, especially if you are a person of any kind of significance, a public figure or whatnot, that they're going to make an example of you. You gotta know that. I mean, damn. And healthcare fraud, we have a hard enough time getting proper healthcare without y'all messing with the premiums by doing dumb shit, playing. Man, the cost that fraud costs us is ridiculous. This is why nothing is covered. It's because they're comping for people who got coverage that wasn't supposed to get coverage. So that's terrible. The ESPN and Disney Plus are covering and carrying the WNBA. So wonderfulness on that. We weren't really getting a whole lot of coverage. You had to know somebody to get a game. So I'm glad to see that more major networks are covering the ladies and giving them their just desserts. They work hard, they play hard, and it's only right, honestly. Okay, so Caitlin Clark was doing a press conference, right? And so she has this signature move thing, when she makes a little heart on her hand, and so one of the reporters at the conference after the game was just being a real dick. All right. This is so much to talk about at the same time, because first of all, it's not the first, second, or 99,000th time that there's somebody who is genuinely doing their job had to deal with some perv not allowing them to do their job and trying to make it something else, trying to get their rocks off on an innocent young lady who's just trying to do her job. That should be old already, but apparently not. So the reporter, this guy for the where's we at? Make sure I'm getting this together, because this is ridiculous. Okay, so basically he wants her to do the heart-shaped thing for him, and he tells her that, things will go a lot easier for her if she's just nice to him. Okay, ladies, speaking directly to y'all, because I know that at least 80% of the ladies checking in have experienced this fuckery before, which is why I brought it up. Right in there with your smile. Why you don't smile? Right in there with the if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Why? First of all, I'm glad that they fucking suspended his ass. They said he can't cover no more games live. He still can write about the shit, so he can still get his bullshit off if he really wanted to. But he can't cover the game. He can't go to the games and physically harass people being obnoxious and pervy. So that's great. I'm glad, the fans lost their minds. Like, why do women have to go through this? Why, if you're running for president, do they want to know about your makeup regimen? Why, if you're winning the Nobel Peace Prize, do they care about what outfit you're wearing? What does one thing have to do with the other thing? We are not here to placate and make you feel good. That is not what we are here for. If that's the case, then you are here to placate and make me feel good. See how that doesn't work for you? Because it sure don't work for us. We are tired of being made to feel like we exist for your pleasure. Seriously. I know I am. And this is just another example of, they taking us for a joke and thinking that we're here for them. Oh, make the heart for me. No. Why? Why would you ask First of all, let's also take into consideration the age range of these young ladies. It's pervy. It's seriously pervy. And I am glad that for once there was something done about it. I would have liked to see the nigga fired. Maybe that would have set a precedent. Stop being pervy to people. Nope, we don't like it. But I'll take not being able to go to the game and physically impose himself on people. I'll accept that. Anyway, got an awesome picture I found when I was looking through for my Knicks fans. It is a Knicks alumni photo. It's got all of the greats. Well, not all of them, but a bunch of the greats got together and took a dope photo. So as soon as I get that up there, in the photo we have Steve Novak, Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, Stephon Marbury, Tim Thomas, Clyde Frazier, Bernard King, Amari Stoudemire, John Starks, Gerald Wilkins, and those guys represent the Knicks veterans. Shout out to them. I don't know, Latrell Sprewell with the spinning and they spinning and the spinning and they spinning with the damn braids. He was dope as hell. He was a great, awesome player. Stephon Marbury, awesome player. Clyde Frazier is a legend. Amari Stoudemire was coming up when I was coming up, so he has a special place in my heart for him. John Starks was the 3-point champion before there was such a fucking thing. So shout out to all of those people who made our Knicks what they are today. Awesome to see them. I just love shouting out people doing cool shit. And there's nothing cooler than being a Knick, really. I mean, to represent the coolest city in the coolest arena in the coolest team in the league. A lot of people would disagree with me, but that's exactly why I said that. So if you're in your feelings, get up in the comments and say something about it. Let's get them Twitter fingers to Twitter fingering. Okay. Pause. All right. I'm too silly for my own good sometimes. All right, so let's see. Shout out to Queens Day ATL. They're having their Queens Day ATL down in ATL. This year it's gonna be in early September. I'm gonna come back to you guys with a date on that. I thought I had that written down. Apparently no. I just was excited about Queens Day ATL. Shout out about that. I do have a graphic for my celebrity basketball, community basketball. Shout out to Shaq and Zoe, Chawn City TV, and the crew over there at Bronx Net. Awesome work they're always doing. They got special guest actors, models, songwriters. And yeah, they're gonna have a $500 shootout contest. So yeah, on July the 20th, 2024. So once again, big shout out to those guys. Shout out to D Chambers on his album release this past Wednesday. He's always working hard. Love his music. Love how he connects with the younger guys. Not saying that he's an older guy, but I just think he's a dope dude. So I want to shout him out. I was supposed to make it to the album release, and my travels did not work out. So I want to make sure I shouted him out since I wasn't able to make it. This Saturday just passed was Freaky Tie Day. I like to see that they are still keeping the young man's memory alive. They love him out there in Queens. He was a dope individual, really, really cool guy. So I want to salute the guys that keep that going every year. It's pretty much the official kickoff to the summer for as far as events are concerned. So shout out to them out there on that. Yeah, they do that out there every year in Springfield Park. So, well, actually, it's not always in Springfield Park. I attended it one year. It was out there in Rosedale, Rochdale Village. So it depends, I guess, on the space for the time. The Bronx Zoo turns 125 years old this week, so shout out to them. They definitely are authentic, official New York things, you know. And Free Wednesdays, don't go on Free Wednesdays if you want to actually see anything, but it is free on Wednesday. You're not gonna make it in there, it's too crowded. But shout out to them. They were like dopeness all through my life. Like, they're one of the reasons for my love of animals, you know. So shout out to them and the Botanical Gardens, all of the boroughs. Absolutely shout out to all of those people keeping our little bits of joy alive. I do have a segment where I shout out my graduates. I overwhelmed my engineer last week with all of my graduation graphics. So this just gonna say hey to everybody graduating this week. XYAX, I can't pronounce it, so, but Institute, shout out to them. Q Butter and the crew are celebrating their graduation. They're having their graduation in Atlanta, Georgia this year. So, because believe it or not, they are international schools. So they have schools set all over the country, and they basically do like Zoom collaborative. So all of the students from all over the country are basically learning the same things at the same time. They have a big focus on STEM, which is awesome. So that's science, technology, and engineering and math, which is, I mean, our people actually excel at those things, but they don't remember that. So any programs that emphasize STEM and math and science and engineering and like robotics, any programs, I'm definitely gonna put all my energy behind promoting, because in order for us to first understand who we are, we have to understand science. In order for us to know where we were, we need the engineering, and to know who we are, we need that mathematics. So an engineer is to know where we are going. So all of those things are necessary for us as a people. And so yeah, definitely shouting out to them. They're gonna have their keynote speaker will be Malik Zulu Shabazz. Awesome speaker, awesome individual. They'll be live streaming their graduation, so I'll get to check it out. And just once again, a big shout out to you, Q Butter, and everybody associated with the Institute. I don't have to, and he'd be pissed off to find out that I did, but shout out to Umar Johnson and his school as well. I know what you're doing, even if nobody else does. Anyway, I would like to shout out also the all-male graduating class from New Orleans, heading to college with an amazing combined $9.3 million in scholarships. Shout out to them, definitely. First of all, it takes a lot these days to get out of high school. I know this for a fact. They don't make it easy. As a matter of fact, they seem to be doing everything in their power to discourage our babies. To make school seem as boring, as unfun, as non-joy inducing as possible. And for me, that's just not how I remember learning. So I think it's very unfortunate. Anything that we can do to encourage our babies and reinstill in them a love of learning, a love of reading, and a desire to understand the world around them is awesome. It's an awesome thing to do, damn it. So I'm behind that as well. So, I don't know. I have my own ideas about. Okay, so somebody wanted me to bring up. I'm trying to be positive, but I have to. So the plan was to talk about it so that we can possibly find him, but he has been found. So as a terrible story that actually has a good ending because they caught this raggedy fucker. But there was a guy this week who was child. This guy took a belt and wrapped it around a young lady's throat and choked her out with it until she passed out, and then he raped her and beat her up. I just want to know, where are we exactly that this is a thing? And I mean, if they hadn't have found this guy, I'm like, we gonna have to find this guy, because this kind of shit should not exist, and it's definitely not to be tolerated or acceptable under any circumstances. I mean, we have assaults, we have rapes and assaults, but there's an obvious escalation here that concerns me. I don't think people understand that the current dynamic of men versus women has serious repercussions and side effects. And of course, that's the plan. The plan is to separate us and keep us separated. Keep us at each other's throats. Keep us having problems with each other. So that way, we're easier to control. We are undefeatable when we unify. And they know this. Now, another idea that popped into my head is that they're sabotaging the bail reform. Because I would be entirely not surprised to find out that this guy is on bail, or, is a repeat offender, is otherwise should not be out on the street. And I think it's unfortunate that the people responsible manipulate us in this way. They don't want the bail reform, so they release violent criminals. So when the violent criminals get rearrested for doing violent criminal shit, they can say, "See, I told you so. Bail reform is not working." Well, we were never supposed to be letting violent criminals out. We were referring to the non-violent criminals that are sitting in jail purely because they can't afford bail. That's what we were talking about. That's what the point was for. That's what the whole reform was meant to work for. But because they don't want that, they let everybody. They said, okay, everybody. No, that's not what we said. That's not what we meant. That was not the plan. But so that they could say it doesn't work, and they can go back on and revoke it and take it back and continue to hold people, without bail, like they were originally doing. Like they complain and they complain and they complain. The more transparency they complain, the more reining in you do, the more complaining they do. Like, they want complete free reign to just have the Wild Wild West going. They don't want to say that, but that's what they want. That's what they want. They want to be able to beat you up. They want to be able to shoot and kill you with no repercussions. That's what they want. Because that's all they're showing us, is that's what they want. They complain every time there's any kind of thing that works on our benefit. They say we making it harder for them to do their job. No, we're making it harder for you to treat us bad. That's what we're making it harder. We're not making it harder for you to do your job. As a matter of fact, y'all make it harder for y'all to do your job because you don't want to do your job. You get in there and the first thing that you start talking about is pension. Pension. How long you got before you get to your pension? How many years you got in now versus how many you got to go? That's the ratio. To hell with arrest ratios, quotas, or whatever we're calling them. No. How long you got? How long you been in there? That's the number one conversated ratio that's discussed amongst you people. I don't care. You burn out so fast that you don't care. You don't care. And we suffer for it. So. Frustrated much? A little bit. We're all a little frustrated, I think. And our tolerance levels are diminishing by the moment. Our patience levels are disappearing by the hour. And we are the straw, we see it coming. The straw that broke the camel's back was preceded by 100,000 other straws. So it's not that one straw. It's the combined weight of all of the straws. We're strawed out. We are up here somewhere, okay? And unfortunately for us, what usually happens when we get fed up and frustrated to the level that we are, well, I don't know what happens, but something happens. Something always happens. Last time it was a revolution. And it was a lot of head chopping. Now, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but there's like guillotines been passed out to all the town squares in America. So maybe they know something we don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it was a cool show. Nice talking with you guys as usual. Thank you all for tuning in. And again, I don't care if it's only one person watching. I'm talking to you. I thank you for watching. I appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate you for taking time out of what could have been anything else you could be doing. You decided to be hanging out here with me today. And I thank you for it. And thank you to everybody who tuned in, whether it be while we're live or later on platforms. I thank you. So I will be back next week. Just for those people who don't want me to come back next week. I'll be here every week. I don't know. I think it was a pretty good show, all in all. Do we have any music videos today? Sure, so we get to close out with a music video. I very, very much enjoyed last week's music video. They sounded so beautiful. And it's one of my favorite songs. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoy the videos. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. See you.
I just wish that could be different. Things we've been through ain't an easy thing. No, 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 no. Homeless, poor, racist, war, prejudged humans rotten to the core. So sad. Open your eyes, don't be blind. We're in the need of change. Let's heal the world. When the smoke clears, love will win the race. Oh, when the smoke clears, we'll see a new face. When the smoke clears, alright, 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 alright. Our nation must fight. Let's make the world a better place for you and I. Everybody got different views, but it's a respect thing in the end. Oh, endless murder, sickness, dying. Let's come together, reunited. Let's heal the world. When the smoke clears, love will win the race. Yes, it will. Oh, when the smoke clears, we'll see a new face. When the smoke clears, we be the same. We the human race, and we're fighting our own battle. It's a struggle. Time for us to come together. Let's begin to listen. Us forward. When the smoke clears, are you ready? Can you hear me? Are you ready? When the smoke clears, when the smoke clears, when the smoke clears, let's make a change. Let's make a change. When the smoke can you hear me? When the smoke.
Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for the Lola Shae Show.